Hello everybody, Gisele Grenier here. So in today's lesson we're going to be creating an ornament, and we're going to be using stuff that you already have in house. Do not go out and buy anything special for this, and you can adapt it to your favorite colors and all that stuff. Now what I wanted to show you is that a lot of you guys have been doing the book of backgrounds with me for the last few years. You can also use the book of backgrounds pages for your ornament. You just cut it out, then you can add words to it if you want. I've got some pieces here just to give you an idea. The only downfall is depending on what you created your book of backgrounds piece on, it may not be strong enough, so you might have to glue it onto something heavier. For this class, I'm going to be using cardboard packaging. We all have cardboard laying around somewhere. Now what I want to do first, I want to cut it out in a circle. So yeah, scissors and but this is really thick stuff. So this is double cardboard because I want to be able to get it to be strong, and I want to rip off some of this paper. So you can do it a couple ways. You get something that's already round and you can just draw the shape. I mean, that's not hard. You can also, I've got this little tool, I haven't used it much, but you can size it and you pick the, this side here. The bad side, just push the pin in, and then there's a blade, that's why I don't use it very often. And you just turn. It's not going to cut all the way through because it's really thick, but it gets it started. And you can just keep going and going and going. And then you're going to paint on this side. So then what I do, I take my scissors and I just cut. And as I'm cutting, the paper is actually bending downwards, making it a clean cut. Now if you were using thick medium, you could work on that side as well. You don't have to work on the back side. Like that. And then we'll go on this side. Now what you can do is you can trim this just a little bit better. And then take my little cotton swab. I'm going to put it inside, because this one here, the holes are nice and small, and you just start peeling that top layer. You don't have to peel the whole thing, and of course this one's going to peel all the way. I didn't really want it to be like that. I want it to look like that. I already have one piece prepared. So let's try this one. See, these ones are hard because the cardboard is really thick. So if you don't have super thick cardboard, then what you can do is you can glue some magazine pages together or newspaper pages together to get something really thick. See how thick this is? See how it's all cracking? Now, you may like that. I don't mind it. You could use a blade to cut it. Whatever you want. Okay, and then, where'd my cotton swab go? Oh, seriously, how could I have lost it already? I mean, I haven't even left my table. Do you guys know where to see it? Really? Come on. Oh, there it is. And so if this side was cracking, I'm going to work on the other side. And you can wet it, just so the paper is a little bit easier to peel. You don't have to peel the whole thing. This creates some nice, interesting patterns. Whoops. Like that. That's actually kind of cool. There we go. Perfect. Like that. Okay, shove over. So now what we got to do is we got to prime it. Priming. You can prime with gesso. Gesso is a bit stronger than regular acrylic paint. So if you have gesso, prime it with gesso. If not, then use a few coats of paint. And I'm going to be using the Decor Americana Premium paint for this, and gesso, because it is really thick. And especially, I'm going to apply it dry. Especially for ornaments like this, the key is they've got to be strong. I'm not adding any water to my brush. And painting in everything. And the reason, not only is it making it stronger, but I don't really want my ornament to be brown. So if you're using fluid acrylics, you're going to need a lot of layers, because those paints are more transparent. Let me do this one as well. Oh, you know what? How about I do it with the paint so you can see? Let's be fair, I'll get a different brush. See, this is a lot smoother. To be honest with you, you can just get by with gesso. You don't even need to buy white. But sometimes, because gesso has, it's very textured, sometimes you want a really smooth finish, but gesso is just fine. When I was going to school fine art, I was using gesso instead of white paint. Here we go. Voila. So we'll be able to see what they look like in a bit. Now, there's a reason why I'm not covering the supplies in the very beginning, because I don't want you getting caught up in the supplies. I want you to let the piece talk to you. As you're working with it, get some ideas and veer off. I just want to give you a starting point, and then you use what you have. Don't go out and buy anything for this piece. All right, so I'm going to put those aside. So one thing that you can do is, for glue, if you don't have glue, I've got my Ryobi glue gun here, and I've got some pieces of no stick matte. These are from Unstick. Unstick, and I damaged it, so I just cut up into small pieces. I make my resin jewelry on this, so because it doesn't stick. So I'm just gonna put that like this, so it drips. If you don't have a glue gun, you can use. I'm not a fan of just using plain glue, because what you want to, depending on what you're gluing together, you want to make sure that it has a good bond. Decor liquid glass is good. E6000, you'll never go wrong with E6000, but it's toxic, so keep that in mind. I like to use the heavy gel medium, especially the heavy gel medium gloss. Doesn't matter whether the finish, when working on stuff like this, because it can get right inside everything, and because it's an acrylic product, it's going to work with everything anyways. So you need some type of glue gun, heavy gel medium, or some E6000, even liquid glass. So now what we're going to do, we're going to create this piece as a matte finish and a shiny finish. So now what you want to do is choose a metallic or an intense, your favorite intense color. So I'm going to use metallics. I'm going to use rose gold, the Dazzling Metallics, rose gold. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint half the ornament. And you can work lower third, lower quarter, to quarter third, or a half. It doesn't really matter. Do you want more your ornament to be more white or more colored? That's completely up to you. The other thing we'll need is some letters. So I'm just going to Joy. This, you know, my idea of Christmas, along with Joe, is that we don't go overboard with Christmas. It's just, to me, Christmas is about friends and family. So just, you know, nice things. So what I did as well is I brought out just a couple of different things that you can use. So there's, right now, if you go, well, Michael's or even the dollar store, you can get a lot of this stuff, and it's cheap. But what you do with it is what really makes it nice. So these are just die cut cardboard. I think these are Tim Holtz. I have no idea. This is just a wood cutout here, and this is an actual metal one. It's really, really pretty. Got a bag of them for $1.50 with different words. So you choose what you want. I'm going to use these, and I've already got an ornament already done and dry. And these ones here, it's doing exactly the opposite that I thought. The gesso I figured would have been more opaque and the paint more transparent, and it's exactly the opposite. Look at that. So I've got my ornament here, and what I did is I just used my punch, and I just punched a hole in it. You can use I don't know, ice pick or a pencil. I remember back in school you used to use a pencil to make a hole. You can use a pencil as well. And ribbon. So luckily I have ribbon that's this color of rose gold. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hold it aside. I'm going to tie a piece but not tie it tight because these are going to go onto a wreath. I don't know, but you can put this on your tree if you want. All right, so we're going to need a clean brush. Do not use a dirty brush when working with metallics. All right. So I'm going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the middle part this here and leave the paper part as the gesso. You can paint it white if you want a bit more of a satiny finish. I put too much metallic on here, but that's okay because we'll be able to take it off. Just like so. And this actually looks, and I did a video, last year I think, where I was using the media fluid acrylics and it looked like liquid gold. So I can push the metallic down a bit further to make it look like it's dripping. And you need a few layers of this if you want a complete opaque finish. See how it looks like it's just dripping? Okay, like that, like that. Now I'm going to, I have another one here, and just to give you another idea of what we can do, let's do it this way, just to give you another idea. So depending on how you cut yours, you could also create this piece horizontal. I'm going to do a few of these. But the whole thing is they're not going to be put all in one class because I want you to be able to pick and choose so you don't get forced into watching all the videos. So you can create it like that, and then you can put your words either at the top or at the bottom, completely up to you. All right, so that takes care of that. So now we're going to let it dry. Everything that we're going to be doing, it's all about the drying time. So I'm going to let this dry, and then really all that's left now in this one is to hole punch it. I'm going to glue the letters, put the ribbon, and then it's finished. You can further though push this forward a little bit. I've got some beautiful white frost metallic luster. It's gorgeous. I wish there was white metallic paint that I had. I don't have any white metallic paint, but that's perfect. I can take that and I can just go around the edge just to give it a little bit of that extra shine. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get my grip tools here. That's a little bit big. What cotton swab am I going to look for? This one here. And white frost. So now this is dried. Put a little bit of water. And just going to rub a little bit. Becomes water soluble right away. Now this one here I'm not going to hole punch because this one I'm actually going to glue onto a wreath. I'm just finishing up some of the edges just to, you know, because some of the cardboard is actually showing. You can use paint if you want as well. You don't have to use wax metallics. If you're stuck on what to use, you could contrast this by going with white over here and then using the rose gold over here. So that's something that you can do as well. So I dry fit that on there, and I'm just going to, so I decide I'm going to put the letters right across. I'm not going to press too hard because I want to be able to move them around. You can put the medium right on the cardboard if you want. Nice and thick. And then I'll just, so now I'm going to take what's left over. Now I can let this dry if you want. And I'm just going to put this over the edge. That should stay put. And give it a little bit of a frosty finish because of the wax metallic that's already on here. And just a bit of a frosty look. There. So now we're going to do is we're going to let this completely dry. And we come back, we'll see what it looks like. So I ended up leaving these for about 3 or 4 days because I got off on tangents creating other stuff, but look how beautiful these turned out. So I was going to do something else on this, but I'm going to leave it because it's just another alternative that you can do. Now, to further push this if you wanted to, I'm just going to ribbon it and leave it. But the other thing you can do with this is that you can finish the edges, let's say, with ribbon. You can glue that around there like so. Oh, that actually turned out quite nice. You can put wire. You can just paint it. You can just leave it. It doesn't matter. So with the idea of whether you want to do it for a wreath or for your tree, so obviously if we hole punch this and you can't cover it up, if you're putting on a wreath, you can just kind of glue it on there. But let's say you want to change up your wreath year by year. If you do it with the ribbon, you just kind of can tuck the ribbon behind. So let me just put this on here. And this is wired ribbon. Oh, I'm not good at this stuff. I know what I want in here. Executing is a different story. So if I put the knot in front, like that, there. Now I can put that on the wreath and the hole doesn't show. With this one here, I'm going to hole punch as well because I do want a ribbon on it. Oh, it doesn't fit. Crud. Okay. I would normally use a pencil, but I hurt myself a couple years ago doing that, and I'm not doing that again. Then we have an actual, it looks like an ice pick, but it's for metal smithing. Yeah, that tool was really expensive. Joe would kill me. I'm going to use tweezers. Pick these up at Princess Auto. This is where I hurt myself. So I'll just be smart about it. Do I see where it's going out? Then take nope. I don't want to use a pencil. I don't want to use a pencil. And I'm pushing it in because that way the stuff that sticks out will be in the back. There we go. What I wanted to do was use an eyelet to finish that off, but obviously I won't be able to. Okay. You could also wrap that around. I wonder if I could do that. This is pretty thick. Wrap it through. I am in awe of the creatives out there that can make the most beautiful things out of ribbon. I suck at this stuff, but it's my type of suck. I don't care. Okay, so wired ribbon is a little bit harder. There we go. And then you can form it any way you want. There's a lot of white there, so I can just break that up. Looks like a rabbit. Looks like a rabbit. There we go. 2 little ornaments. So from here, I mean, you can finish it off any way you want if you're going to be putting it out or not. I wouldn't say put your wreath outside because this is a paper product, but you can collage it or varnish it with like a Duraclear varnish, but this is absolutely beautiful. Again, you can finish off the back if you want. These are going to go right on the wreath, so I'm not going to worry about it. All the ideas that I have for ornament would make like 25 wreaths, so I had to cut out some of them. But with the live class, we'll be able to talk about them. So there we go. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I would love for you to take pictures of what you created, whether or not you like it or not, because art's subjective. Post a picture below. That way, I would love it if we can, time permitting and depending on when you're watching this, is that whatever pictures are posted, then everybody else can then try to make their version of the ornament based on what you created, because like I've proven many times, my intention of starting off with a project and then your creativity takes over and you end up going off in different directions, creating a bunch of different things, and that's the way it should be. Unless you're creating something as a commission and you're not allowed to be creative, you have to do it exactly the way the customer wants, which is why I don't do commissions anymore. All right, so questions, post them below, post your pictures below, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay inspired.